Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Robert Rivera with Who's On First, the show. And today I bring you an author. His name is Stephen Sobotka. All right, I got it. Sobotka, he wrote a book and it's called A Minor League Tale. Stephen, introduce yourself to everybody.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Robert. Like you said, my name is Steve. I'm from San Diego, originally from Nebraska. It's a baseball fan. I grew up playing, backyard baseball, more football in Nebraska, but we always had time to play baseball. I wish I would have played more as I got older. I gravitated towards baseball because I like the you can sit and thinking and cerebral aspects of it and stuff, and enjoy sharing that with my dad and my son. Anyway, I wrote a short book initially based off of a blog post about a baseball bat that I received at a minor league game in 1985. It was a AAA game. The Omaha Royals, now the Omaha Storm Chasers. Guy that gave it to me was playing for the Nashville Sounds by the name of Mike Laga. Cracked bat. He broke it in BP. Asked me if I wanted it. I went nuts. My dad and I fixed it up. We played with it in the backyard. We could barely lift it. Fast forward, that bat survived, a couple decades, and my dad had tried to refurbish and eventually sent it to my son, who I think was 12 at the time. So I was telling Robert, we talked earlier about I kind of see things and I can make a story out of anything. So it's kind of gnawed at me for a long time. Started as a blog post, eventually turned it into a short story, and here we are.
So that's the original bat that this whole story came from.
Yeah, I mean it's got a little bit of a shellac on it. My dad tried to repair it for my son, and I said, why'd you stain it? Why didn't you just let it be? And he said, this dark end, it's not stain, it's water damage from sitting in a garage bucket.
Wow. Yeah, I mean it's a quick read. I hadn't had a guy. I glanced over it. I really get a chance to because you sent it to me last night. But it's a pretty quick read. And one of the chapters that actually drew to me was the everyday grind. It's about what all of us baseball players do. We jump up in the morning and it's the day of the game, and we go, "Hey, mom, where's our bat?"
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
it kind of gravitated towards me, or where's my uniform, or where's my
right.
my cleats, or where's my glove in this book? What's happening in this book?
Well, it starts out like I said with an old, I guess it'd be an old ex, played some minor league ball as a hot prospect and didn't quite make it for. There's a lot of reasons guys don't make it, but he didn't make it and kind of became bitter about it and estranged from his son. That's how it starts, and then kind of goes back in time a little flashback to where the bat came from, its life on the field, and how it transferred from. I would say it's not all family transfers, kind of from one kid to a kid who was without a father and had a coach who was a father figure to him. He transferred it to him, and then eventually came full circle that the coach was he had once competed against and played with another guy in the minors who made it to the majors, saw that it was actually his bat, and he sent it to him as a gift. And inside the book I try to do it as like a letter from each time the bat changed hands, and eventually the bat comes back to the old man at the start of the book, who was a little bit bitter, who now has a grandson that he's hoping to be involved with, and he passes it along as more of a keepsake than anything. So clearly centered around baseball. I'm always fascinated with human interest and life, family dynamics and things like that. So that's all woven into it.
Do you have a favorite chapter in that book?
I can tell you, I beat up the opening page of it just to try to get it right. I love doing it. It's probably like you have clearly have passions, hobbies, something I do that I don't get paid for. But so I write that, and then it kind of sits and it stews, for a couple months, and I'm like, that word's not right. I never want anybody to have to guess what I'm trying to say, so you're always kind of reworking it and stuff. But as far as the favorite chapter, it's hard to say. It's weird. I'm kind of drawing a blank, even though I probably read it 100 times. You kind of get tired of reading it, but I don't know if that's a great answer. It's sort of part of the process of writing it. So I probably don't have a favorite chapter. I just enjoy what it represented to me. And so
Now tell me about this book cover. Where'd you come up with this?
yeah, it was family vacation. I mean, 2018, maybe not 1918, 2018.
2018.
I have family in Omaha, Nebraska. We decided to drive across Iowa all the way across the state and caught a night game on the Mississippi River in Clinton, Iowa. Due to MLB consolidation, I believe the Clinton Lumberjacks are no longer a minor league affiliate. They might be an independent league affiliate. Great old stadium there in Clinton, a little green, painted grandstand. It reminded me of like a League of Their Own or something you'd see in the Natural. And anyway, so that was a night game in Clinton, Iowa, and I think they were playing Cedar Rapids Colonels, if I remember correctly. The mound is from Clinton, and they were like in Hawaiian jersey night or something. If you can just make that out, but it's funny. I've had some comments on Facebook and stuff, and guys commenting, "Oh, it looks like so and so," or "It looks like such somebody throughout the." I'm drawing blank, but a couple different teams. So
Right.
yeah, that was, I took the shot, and then I'm dumb enough to want to do everything myself. So I like playing in Photoshop and try to come up with something that wasn't too over the top and
Okay.
put it together as a cover.
All right. I'm thinking about it because I know you were telling me about the bat behind you there. That's from the Field of Dreams.
Mm.
Is it kind of like, the father, the son, the conflict, the bitterness, the anger sometimes that we have? Is it kind of along like a Field of Dream type of story?
I would say from the comment you just made, yes, there's no supernatural element per se, but certainly the family dynamic, from father to son and losing a father and moving on in life. I guess you could say gaining a father figure, and then a father who is estranged with his son, reconciling because he's got the new generation, got a grandson. So there's certainly the family dynamic element wrapped around the world of baseball and a lonely old bat, but none of the supernatural element really.
We talk about family and we talk about baseball, and I see it more and more every day that a lot of these major leaguers, you're getting a lot of their kids now
Yeah,
in the major leagues and in the minor leagues, and some of these kids, the son is supposed to be better than the dad, but
yeah.
sometimes the dad is a little better than the son. I actually have a card of Yogi Berra and Dale Berra.
Oh,
Yeah,
Joe
and
was his son.
Yeah, Dale was his son.
Okay.
And a lot
Okay.
of people did not know that Yogi Berra had a son that actually played ball. He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates for a short instance, and Roberto Clemente Jr. is another
Oh,
is a former ball player. It can happen. Sometimes you have Ken Griffey and a Ken Griffey Jr. I mean,
yeah.
that was a toss up for me. And that brings you back to Field of Dreams when Cincinnati was playing that they came out the corn.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
I wasn't aware of Roberto Clemente Jr.
Yeah, Roberto Clemente Jr. I don't think he made it to the majors, but he did have
Okay.
a stint in the minors.
Yeah.
He did play ball. I'm not sure exactly what team, but yeah, he actually did play ball. So I mean, Steven, tell me about what draws you to baseball.
Like I said, as a kid, playing backyard baseball, we grew up in Nebraska, so I had big yard. You could play in our own yard. We didn't have to go anywhere, and I always liked that. My dad he's a lifelong Giants fan, believe it or not, from back when they were in New York.
Okay.
Because when he was a little kid, there were only two teams on TV: the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants, and so he's stayed loyal to them to this day, and and he would take us to games. That's kind of where I got my start. I think as a kid, I didn't appreciate as much. I gravitated towards football because you could always get retribution, instant retribution or
Right.
whatnot during the
Yeah.
play. And like I said, as I got older, I enjoyed that you can sit there and there's 100 things going on any given pitch, and you can always learn something new. And I moved to San Diego. I was in the Marine Corps, and I got out, moved here for college, and I started going to Padre games. I go a long time, probably since '95. Been going. You and I talked earlier, and when the Yankees clowned us in the World Series of '98, it broke my heart. And now my son is taken on. He's caught the fever, and I said, just beware, you're gonna be a lifetime of disappointment, but we'll see how they do. So I enjoy the game. In fact, we went last Saturday night to their last home game, and it to me it's way less about the game. It's we sit there and chat, and we talk baseball, but we talk life. So I enjoy that too. So
Yeah,
but
baseball
yeah,
sometimes it correlates with life.
yeah.
I tell that to everybody. Okay. Give me a great baseball moment that you recall.
I would put the getting the bat up there as a kid. I actually got that bat. That was pretty cool for me. You just didn't get a lot of stuff like that. You didn't get to go to lot of live action events. And then probably a couple years ago, my son he's in college now, but he was a pitcher. He's a little guy at the time. He's probably 12 or 13. So I surprised him and bought tickets to Anaheim Angels. He was a fan of R.A. Dickey, knuckleballer R.A. Dickey,
Okay, yeah.
call him. So I knew the Blue Jays were coming to town. So I made some phone calls and tried to find out where they're staying. And of course, no one will confirm that for obvious reasons, but you can put the pieces together. So I got a hotel in Anaheim at the where the Blue Jays were, and we went to the game. Dickey had a nice game, and we sat in the lobby. And when we came back, and he's always had his Sharpie and his cards ready. The lobby guys, they're like hawks, trying to keep you out of there. They don't want them bugging the players. And we were hotel guests, so we were sitting there, we're playing cards by the elevator bank. And finally, he's like, "Okay, Dad, we can go." And I said, "No, we'll give a few more minutes." And this is about 5 minutes later. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and a group of guys came in, and it was I think it was Tulowitzki and
Wow.
who's the guy that went to the Twins? Was he third base? Just re-signed to the 1 year deal last year, 2 years ago.
Oh,
Josh
John,
Donaldson.
John Donaldson. Yes.
Donaldson was there with his Viking haircut, and R.A. Dickey comes walking in, and I rarely see my son speechless. Here he is, and he walked up with his Sharpies. "Mr. Dickey, would you please sign my card?" And couldn't have been any nicer. It was everything you would hope that someone would be who was going to meet your child. As a idolize him as a pitcher, very
Yep.
kind. And I said, "Well, we're not going to follow him." So he signed his stuff, and we waited at the elevator for a second and got on, and got off the elevator, rounded the corner, and it turned out R.A. Dickey was staying in the room just next to us
Oh,
on the
wow.
same floor. So I didn't really sleep that night. I was hoping my son wouldn't do something stupid, like go knock on his door, slide something under the door. But again, more of like you do for your kids. Like he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
beside himself. So that was cool for me to see that and to see how R.A. Dickey treated him. So,
Yeah. I have something similar. We were in Scranton and it was Mariano Rivera Day in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where we
oh,
live.
yeah.
Mariano was in the stadium, and my wife she was a vendor at the time, and she was
Uh-huh.
able to get us in early with her. And he had walked right by us, and my son had a ball, and I said, "Pop, that's him. That's go get him, go get him." And he went down to the field, and he was doing some stuff, some pictures, and then there was like a whole mess of kids just marching down the steps. I had no idea, and then I see the girl. She's pointing at my son. She's like, come on, let's go." And she takes him onto the field, and then they go into the dugout, and I'm
Wow.
like, what's going on? Why, I tell my wife, I'm like, "Listen, I'm over here. I'm trying to figure out where he's at." She's at first base dugout and I'm at third base dugout. Is there anybody in the dugout? And she goes, "No, there's nobody there." And I'm like, "Where did this kid go?" I was like, "Well, he disappeared." Well, sure enough, about 20 minutes later, he emerged, and here he comes up the steps, and he's like, "Dad, I got it." I'm like, "What?" And he got the ball, Mariano Rivera autographed. And I'm like,
Wow.
"Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Who was that lady?" He goes, "I don't know. She kept on telling me, come on, let's go, let's go." And he was like, I didn't know what to say. So I just went with her. And he goes, and then went down underneath, and he was at the batting cages there, and he was signing autographs for all the kids. And I'm like,
Wow.
wow, that's amazing.
So he got to go in the dugout under the tunnel.
Yeah, underneath there was some batting cages there, and he was just signing autographs for kids. So
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
oh wow, I said, that's really cool. The better part of that is that the next day I go to work, one of the guys at work says, "Hey Rob, you're a big baseball guy. You know Mariano Rivera was at the stadium." I said, "Yeah, me and my son was there. My son got an autograph." He goes, "That's funny because my girlfriend was the official photographer yesterday. Are you kidding me?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Do you think she would have a picture of my son?" And 2 days later, we got 3 pictures with him. And I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
That's so cool.
It's a small world, and it was so cool to see.
Yeah.
But it was to see him going for the kids. You always like, wow. I always tell my
Yeah.
son, if you ever become big time, make sure you take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Some of these adults, you're like, "Hey, listen, you got to back off," because even Mariano, they were giving him a jersey, and he was
Yeah.
trying to sign it, and the guy kept on pulling it. And
Oh,
Mariano just like looked up, and he's like, "Hey, you want me to sign it?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." So he yanks it out of the guy's hand, and then he autographs it, and he gives it back to him. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's autographing it, and you're pulling it. I'm like,
yeah.
what,
Just smear
what
it.
are you doing? It's like, and you act like a worse than a little kid. But anyway, this book, has anybody come to you and said, "Wow, this is really inspiring. I have a similar story. Has anybody ever talked to you about that?
I did some ads on Facebook and trying to build my author side business side as an author. So I use it as like a familiar with the term a lead generation, like a free magnet.
Okay.
And so far it's been up a couple of months, and I've had about close to 600 people subscribe to email list. I was frankly surprised. A lot of really nice comments on the Facebook posts and stuff
Okay.
like that. And I enjoy that as much as anything. It's like I said, I have it up there and I'll trade. If you give me your email, I'll send you an email. I'm not going to flood people's emails, but I'm doing it to try to build a bit of a list, and they enjoy the download. And one guy commented, "Hey, thanks for the book. Reminds me of the days in the minors," and I comment on all of them. I try to reply on all of them, and I enjoy that as much as anything, just interacting with people and hearing what other people do, what their story was. And I think I mentioned to you or earlier that a couple of people commented on the cover and said, "Oh, this looks like I think somebody." It was the Holyoke Millers from 1979, and I said, "Well, that's an awesome team name, but it was Clinton Lumberjacks." But very just really nice comments, and I think as you get older, time to me is the most valuable thing we have. So I always thank people for spending their time to read it and also time to comment. So
Right, right.
I
And
think
that's
it's
one of the
resonated
things.
with the people that have read it. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I love about my show. Anybody makes a comment, you took a second to read it, and you loved it, I'll definitely comment back to you. So what do you say, guys? Give me some comments, give me some feedback.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
Everybody likes feedback. That's why every time you go somewhere, they circle, let us know how we're doing. And usually
Yeah.
people use it more for bad than they do good. The floor was wet and I almost slipped. Yeah, but wasn't there a sign or something? No, there wasn't a sign. Oh, okay, sorry. Jeez.
I had some comment on Facebook. The guy, he liked the page, made a nice comment. We had a small exchange, and then you get a notification or something if somebody engages with a post, and she just put the red angry face. I was like, why would she be angry about the comments of this guy and I have? But it's like a 1-star review. I don't care. I'd rather get a spectrum of reviews, but I would just be really curious.
Well,
What put you off so much about it? But whatever.
all right. So the person who put the angry face, give me the comment. I want an angry face too, because I'm gonna give you a smiley face back.
Yeah, man.
You're living in where, California, right?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego, or Escondido, just right outside of San Diego.
Okay,
So
so I mean, I saw your hobbies are reading and
yeah.
baseball, woodworking.
No, I don't want to ever be like that uncle that always makes a niece and nephew like a wooden duck or a toy, but not that. But if I come up with like in my keepsake box or something for my son, I showed you earlier, I built a bar behind me. I watched
Right.
about 1,000 YouTube videos and just finally figured, okay, I'll just come up with something. And so I'll come up with a plan on the fly. And yeah, I enjoy that. I think maybe like because writing, it's sort of a solitary venture, and you're always going to make mistakes, but I learn something new every time I do another project, probably like you with your bats and
Yeah.
such. But you always learn something. You either don't have the right tool, the right material, so you figure out a way to make it work. But yeah, I love that. I spend time with my kids, and I got a 19-year-old and a 5-year-old, so we're busy. But
Oh, that's a big gap.
yeah,
I
I love
got
it.
19 and then gonna be 18 in a couple days. So it's
Busy.
interesting.
Yeah,
It's great. It's great being a dad. It's great seeing the
absolutely.
world. Every day there's some new adventure or something. And it was just my daughter's driving to high school, and she said some kid came in through the exit lane, and she was trying to exit, and he was
Mm,
trying to enter. So she started backing up, and then next thing you know, there was 2 cars behind her honking at her, and she's telling him, "Hey, you're gonna have to back up because I can't back up. They're not backing up." And then he was
yeah,
with an angry face. Probably that's the lady's son.
might have been.
He was with an angry face, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. You came in through the exit. Read the sign."
Yeah,
It's like, oh, it was just so funny, and that was like her traumatic story for the day. And
right.
I was like, oh, okay. And then she's like, I was trying to have a heartfelt conversation with you, and I'm like, I thought it was hilarious. I
You didn't
was
get the
like,
right reaction.
yeah, I'm like, well, I mean, no big deal. Somebody made a mistake. What can you do? It's a boo 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 boo.
It's
What can
fun
you
watching them navigate through life. Yeah,
do?
what their trauma is versus
Yeah.
serious stuff.
And
But
if you only learn through baseball, maybe you learn how to navigate that. You can't start at third base. You have to go through first. See, and
true,
this is he's probably like a soccer kid or something. He's not a baseball kid.
always something.
Always something. If somebody wants to get this book, how would they get their hands on this book?
I have a website, and I think right on the front page, there's the same link. You could download a free copy if you wanted it. scswriter.com. And that's on there. And so you can get a free download on the website.
Have you written any other books, or this is the only one?
No, I actually wrote a full length novel, and it's called The Greatest Gift. You can see that on the website as well. There's about three lives: a 30-ish woman, a widower, and a kind of a middle aged guy with a daughter, and their lives collide in kind of unexpected ways. Check out the description if you look on the website, but I've got that out, and it's up on Amazon as well. Got some really good feedback, and I've got I wouldn't call it a sequel to that. It would be a standalone, but I wrote another one, and it's in the can. I'm editing it right now, and the one I'm really kind of more excited about is I wrote a middle grade note for kids, a Christmas story, and I Christmas with like the little village
Yes.
pieces and stuff. So it's based around that, but I'm trying to pump those out before the holiday.
I usually have like a little bit of a curveball question.
Okay,
When you go to a baseball game and you had a choice between peanuts and popcorn, what would you pick?
popcorn,
Popcorn.
salt, butter. You ever dip it in mustard or eat it with a jalapeno?
Never done that.
Uh,
I saw a kid, he took a hoodie sweatshirt and he turned it
yeah.
around and he poured the popcorn in there and then gave half to, I guess, the person next to him. And then, he was watching the game. He would just dip his head into the hoodie and just, and I was like, wow, I thought that was genius. You
I've
got to
never
wash the
seen
hoodie,
that.
I'm sure, when you get home, but I
Oh,
think it was
yeah.
genius. It's a feedback type of deal.
Yeah. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Another curveball question. If
Yeah.
you could play baseball in any field, what
Mm,
position would you play and what field would you play in?
gosh, I think my dad used to say when I was a kid, he said, I think you would have made a good catcher. So I like to think I see the angles and stuff. So I think I would probably say catcher, even though I never played catcher. And sounds probably pretty cliche, but I think Wrigley probably.
Really? Okay.
I've been to Wrigley. First time I walked in, it's kind of surreal. I enjoy it. It's getting a lot more built up now in the outfield and stuff, but it's still got a good vibe to it.
Okay. I haven't visited yet. I've been to several fields. That's not
Sure.
one of the ones that I've gone to, but I'm gonna make my way out there one day. That Dyersville bat there behind you. I mean,
Yeah.
how'd you like that Field of Dreams there?
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. I just thought it was. We talked. You know, I talked earlier. The movie I watched it like a month ago. I had it on us in the garage, and it's just really holds up. It's a classic. You know, and I was excited. Like I said, my son was younger and get to throw off the mound, and maybe means more to me than him, but it was cool. And we took a family picture walking out of the cornfield. You know, and it was cool. I thought it was cool.
I had my son on the Field of Dreams and we're sitting there, we're looking around that third base line, halfway between third and home plate. I think there was a handful of people there. And I
Mhm.
turned to my son and I said, listen, I want you to make me a promise on this field. And he's like, what's that? I said, I want you to be a better person than me. I want you to be a better husband, a better dad, and a better man than me. And my son is not an emotional kid. Put his head down. And I was like, I got him. He goes, yeah, okay, no problem. I got it. I was like, that's not the response I wanted.
Right. You're supposed to say you're a great dad. You're a
Yeah,
great.
yeah. You know, and it's but he did later on. And anybody ever get a chance to go to Dyersville, Iowa, do
Absolutely.
yourself a favor. The people are lovely. They're wonderful. You
Mm.
could not have scripted that if you wrote it in Hollywood any better the way it turned out. I know the Yankees lost and I know the White Sox won. And, I didn't even care who won at that point. The way it came out, you couldn't have done a better job in Hollywood. So it was amazing stuff.
I would agree. I agree with you. I'm not about letting get starstruck or like, oh, it was part of a movie. But I guess if you love baseball, it's just all kind of all encompassing, right? Obviously, it was a story that was made up, but like I don't know. I guess for a second you kind of buy into it and you're looking at it like what it was in the movie. So
Yeah.
I think that's the magic of the place. I enjoyed that.
I did enjoy the commercials though, and my favorite was Big Papi and Alex Rodriguez.
Is this heaven? No, loco. This is Iowa, knucklehead.
And A-Rod to Big Papi says, "Hey, want to have a catch?"
Oh, you want to have a catch with me?
You see Big Papi look at him. He goes,
Hell to the no. You're still a Yankee. I'm a Red Sox.
"I don't play catch with Yankees."
That would never happen, son.
And he ducked back into the curve and took it.
See you when I see you.
And you see A-Rod go, "Come on, man." But I thought that was a great moment. All right, well, Steven, listen, thank you for being on. It was a pleasure to have you on. The book is called A Minor League Tale. I just have tail on my background here. The words were so big I couldn't carry them and put them the rest there. I was tired after tail. So,
I bet. Well, I said, Robert, thank you. I really appreciate you reaching out. Completely unexpected surprise. I love what you're doing. I think your show is a great concept, and just the brief chats with you. I bet you got a lot of good stories. So I heard Pro School last night. I got a novel in my head already about to do this work in the circuit as an ump, and that's
absolutely.
so maybe you and I will be making notes or something.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for being on. Guys, go get his book, drop him a line, email. It's in the description. Don't forget, we got merch. Don't forget the shirt. I'm not wearing it because mine's dirty because I've been wearing it all the time. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Steven. And everybody, as we say here on Who's On First, what do we say? Keep swinging.
On swinging.
If you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe. Right. You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?